Good morning, students. As we have completed the history portion, today I am going to continue with the second chapter of civics, that is the Indian Parliament. Now, last chapter was Introduction to the Parliamentary System, and this chapter deals about Indian Parliament. We have studied that the Parliament plays an important role in parliamentary system of government. In this chapter, we will discuss the Parliament of India. The Constitution of India has created the Parliament of India. The legislature at the national level, that is the level of the central government, is called the Parliament. That is the government which is in charge of entire country, which is headed by Prime Minister, is Parliament. It consists of President and the two houses of Parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Though President is an inseparable part of Parliament, she cannot participate in the discussions in either of the house of the Parliament. Now see, in parliamentary form of government, President is just nominal head, whereas administrative powers are in the hand of Prime Minister and Council of Ministers, that is in the hand of Parliament, Lok Sabha. Though President is head of the country, all other officers are appointed by him on his name, but he is just a nominal head. Powers are in the hand of Parliament. Powers are in the hand of Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. This is very important, which you all have to understand. The two houses of the Parliament are called the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is the lower and the first house of Parliament of India. Lok Sabha is the House of Representatives directly elected by the people. House of Representatives. Now, from time to time elections are held. Last elections were held in 2019. And next elections will be held after 5 years. Now during elections, we all know candidates visit our home, they give us promises, and when elections are held, according to our choice, we elect representatives, and these representatives are elected by the people. Once elections are over, the party which gets majority seat, from that party, Prime Minister and Council of Ministers are elected. These elected members are people's representative. India is a big, huge country with huge population, and as a result, this is the system. Through voting, candidates are elected. They are known as representatives. They represent the general public of India, and they are the ones, those who take decisions on behalf of entire population. Hence the Lok Sabha is called the first house. The members of Lok Sabha are elected directly by people from the territorial constituencies. As I told you, they are directly elected by the people from territorial constituencies. Now see, what is a constituency? Constituency is an area is a specific area from which one candidate is elected. India is a big, huge country, and as a result, there are more than 500 people's representative. Give you one example. If you look at, and there is one constituency. This is one constituency. And from here, elected representative is elected by the people. A representative is elected by the people who represents the Andheri constituency. Same way, according to the size of population and area, the constituencies are, formed. The tenure of Lok Sabha is of 5 years. Every 5-year elections to the Lok Sabha are held. The elections take place after every 5 years. These elections are known as general elections. However, there are examples when the Lok Sabha was dissolved before the completion of 5 years. Elections held in such a case are called mid-term elections. There are instances when Lok Sabha has been dissolved, when there is no majority, when the house does not have support of all the members. In that case, the Lok Sabha gets dissolved and elections are held again. So these are ways through which governments are formed. Lok Sabha is the representative body of the citizens of the country. As per the constitution, there can be a maximum of 552 members in the Lok Sabha. Maximum 552 elected representatives, those who are part of this Lok Sabha. To ensure equal representation to all sections of community, some seats are reserved for members belonging to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Now in 6th standard and 7th standard, while we were learning civics, almost all the chapters we have studied that seats are reserved for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, backward class people, and especially for women. Why? Because so that people from this deprived section of society, they also get opportunity to represent their people, and accordingly Constitution has given provision where seats are reserved for this deprived section of society, also for the women. In case there are no representatives from Anglo-Indian community, the President can appoint 2 members from this community to the Lok Sabha. Anglo-Indian community. If this community is not represented properly, then President has power where he can appoint 2 members. This is where President has his own power. Now, if you look at Indian Parliament, Sansad Bhavan, which is in Delhi, from time to time, sessions of Parliament are held, and for your better understanding, there is this channel called Lok Sabha TV, and if you watch that, you will get to know how actually this Lok Sabha functions. Or for that matter, in our school we are annually having mock parliament, and when this mock parliament is held, if you watch that, you will get to know how these different ministers, Council of Ministers, Prime Minister, how they interact with each other, how the discussions are taken place, how debates on certain issues are debated. You will get an idea about that. Rajya Sabha. The upper and the second house of parliament is Rajya Sabha. The members of Rajya Sabha are indirectly elected. As the name suggests, Rajya Sabha gives representation to 29 states and 7 union territories in India. Thus, members of Rajya Sabha work as representatives of the constituent state. The total membership of Rajya Sabha is 250 members. Amongst them, 238 members are elected from constituent states and union territories. 238 members are elected from states and union territories. All the constituent states do not get equal representation in the Rajya Sabha. This is on the basis of size and population. Accordingly, representation of these states are framed. It is proportionate to the total population of each of state. Remaining 12 members are appointed by President. These members are usually experienced and distinguished personalities from fields of literature, art, science, sports and social work. All those who have got name and fame in the field of literature, art, science, sports and social work, they are directly appointed by the President to be member of Rajya Sabha. For example, Sachin Tendulkar was member of parliament. Now we know who is he. Then, a few years back, actress Rekha was, member of parliament. Jaya Bachchan is member of parliament. Shabana Azmi was, member of parliament. So, these are, well-known personalities. Those who are, role model for people of India. And as a result, these people are directly appointed by the President to be the member of Rajya Sabha. The members of Rajya Sabha are elected through the system of proportional representation according to the size of the state and population of the state. Rajya Sabha is never dissolved completely, hence it is called a permanent house. Unlike Lok Sabha, which can be dissolved at any point of time if Prime Minister and Council of Ministers they do not perform their duty properly, or if they lose confidence. In that case, Lok Sabha can be dissolved, but Rajya Sabha can never be dissolved. And 1/3 members of total membership of Rajya Sabha who have completed their tenure of 6 years retire after every 2 years, and equal number of new members get elected. That means elected member get a term of 2 years, and after 2 years they retire, and in their place new members are appointed. Because the limited members of Rajya Sabha retire step by step, Rajya Sabha can function continuously. All these members they retire step by step. Any person contesting for the election of Rajya Sabha must be an Indian citizen, and he must have completed 30 years of age. These are, this is the criteria to be elected as member of Rajya Sabha. Members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are known as members of Parliament, or in short form MP. MPs try to resolve queries and complaints of their constituencies by raising questions in the parliament. Now see, this is very important. All these members of parliament, the constituency which they represent, they try to solve all the problems in their constituency, grievances of the people, like sanitation, public work department, educational facilities, all these matters of great importance to people in their constituency. These members of parliament, they try to solve these problems. They try to provide all these facilities for the benefit of the people. If there is required for a school, a college, or a degree college, or a technical college, then this is where all these members of parliament, representatives, they play a very important role. Now during sessions of parliament, all these members, they have their queries, they have their question answers, debates are held on certain issues, on important issues, and accordingly decisions are taken, and those decisions normally they benefit the common people. Government allocates them funds to carry out development activities in their respective constituencies. Government gives them money for different projects which has to be carried out for benefit of the people. As I told you, school, college, roads, hospitals, parks, accordingly, the representative tries to solve problem in his own area. Functions of parliament. After understanding the basics of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, we will now review their functions. Formulation of law. The most important function of parliament is it's a law-making body. In order to achieve welfare of the people and the objectives of the constitution, the parliament has to formulate new laws. From time to time, they have to amend the constitution. They have to come with new rules and regulations. Also, outdated laws are repealed. Laws which are very old, they are removed, and in their place new rules and regulations are brought. For example, government has come out with new education policy, and that new education policy is based on technology, smart classes, use of different method, where less burden to the student to carry books. So in coming years, this new education policy will come into force gradually and slowly, and then we will understand how it works. So these type of important decisions are taken by parliament. They sit and take decisions on issues of great importance which benefit to the people and country in general. Changes are made in some laws. The process of the formulation of laws has been described in the constitution. How these laws will change, all these things are written in constitution. Like rules and regulations. Simple example, traffic rules. From time to time new traffic rules come in. Now lately from October 1, new traffic rule is that we don't have to carry papers of vehicles along with us. It's all digital now. Your number can be scanned, and every detail about a vehicle will come on the portal. So these type of decisions are taken by the government, by the parliament. The parliament fulfills this primary and important responsibility, that is making of the laws. Control over council of ministers. Now see, after elections, government is formed. Prime Minister is head of the council of ministers, and this council of ministers for example are sports minister, education minister, agriculture minister, planning and development minister, finance minister, and so on. So this parliament controls all the ministers. The prime minister and the council of ministers are drawn from the parliament, and parliament exercises control over them. There are multiple ways through which this control can be exercised. It is the responsibility of the parliament to see that the council of ministers does not disregard the parliament and functions under its supervision. That means, in simple language, all these members of parliament, important dignitaries, those who are holding important position as ministers, since they are people's representative and they have to maintain discipline, honor of the house. They have to be honest in their work. And from time to time, they have to speak about their own development activities, how work is being performed by them, whatever they are doing, whether it is beneficial for the people. And all these things are controlled by the parliament. Dignity of the house is maintained by the parliament. They keep an eye on working of all these ministers and council of ministers. That means no minister can perform his duties on his own whims and fancies. They have to perform according to the constitution, according to the rule book. So this check is on ministers is kept by the parliament. Amendments to the constitution. Amendment means changes. The parliament decides whether to make any amendment to Indian constitution. The constitution amendment bill is considered to be an important bill. The parliament discusses why the amendment is required and decides whether to accept it or not. Any change in the constitution, the parliament decides and discusses, and accordingly changes are brought, where all the members of the houses, both the houses, upper house, lower house, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they have to accept the bill, and then only changes or amendment can be brought. The constitution mentions various ways of amending the constitution. They are as follows. Few provisions in Indian constitution are amended by simple majority of the parliament. Certain rules and regulations or certain changes are brought in a very simple way, where majority of the elected members of parliament, they support and amendment is brought. Some provisions require a special majority, that is 2/3 of the parliament, that is total number of seats. From that 2/3 member have to support that amendment. Few other provisions are amended by special majority plus consent from more than half of the constituent states. So this is how amendment to the constitution is brought. Understand it. Both houses, the Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, have same set of rights, but there are certain rights that are enjoyed by Lok Sabha and are not available to Rajya Sabha. For example, bills related to taxes are related to finance. Bills related to finance are considered as money bills, and such bills are introduced and passed in the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha has limited powers with respect to money bill. That means money matters are controlled by Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha does not have any authority on that. Meanwhile, the Rajya Sabha has certain rights which are not available to Lok Sabha. For example, if Rajya Sabha feels that as a matter of national interest, the parliament should make a law on the subject in state list, it can pass a resolution to the effect. Now we all know there are 3 lists. Concurrent list, on which both state and central government can make and take decisions. There is union list, on which only union government will take decision, and there is state list, on which state government will take decision. So accordingly powers and functions of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha are also divided. Now we will end it here and continue in the next chapter. Please go through the chapter. Any doubt you can ask. Thank you. Stay home. Take care.